Hello everybody, Joe from the Superyacht Log. I'm talking to you from Dubai, where the Superyacht Times Gulf Superyacht Summit has just concluded. So we've had a day and a half of some really fantastic discussions, and I just thought I would touch base with you all just to let you know a couple of the key elements that really stuck with me. First part of the summit really focused on the changes in the infrastructure and the way in which they are working alongside the superyacht industry to encourage growth in the region. Huge amount of investment, development, which mostly seems to hinge around the need for refit facilities for vessels. One of the biggest obstacles we still seem to face is the difference in the charter market. It's locally mostly still day or very short charters, and some of the charter brokers expressed a need for better vessels or more vessels to be coming to the region to fulfill a demand, but owners being reluctant to bring vessels until they were convinced that they might get week-long charters. So a change in the kind of way in which the current market perceives what a charter could or couldn't be on a vessel of this size. We have a little bit of a mismatch between European expectations and what we're currently offering in the region. A couple of key figures that stuck with me. We were talking about owners in the region, and everyone's very familiar with the fact that the region has provided a lot of owners for a lot of very large vessels for a long time. However, some numbers were banded around that about 50% of owners in the region are what we would describe as new wealth. And this wasn't necessarily local Emiratis, but actually could be younger tech or kind of Bitcoin entrepreneurs, NFTs. We were talking a lot about kind of digital entrepreneurialism. I think that's a word. And that a lot of these owners are very much new wealth, but also not local. So these are expats that are living in the area and now buying from here as their newly established residency. Another figure that was bandied around was that these newer purchasers are not relying on finance. That only about 15% of vessels are finance, which is kind of opposite end of the spectrum to what we would normally expect from a traditional European purchasing model. Earlier today, I was involved in a session called the Energy Challenge. We had really interesting presentation from both Lursen and San Lorenzo, who both presented their methanol solution for the alternative fuel source. I was giving a bit more of a owner's perspective on what we're finding from our clients in our experience, and I explained that the challenge isn't just finding a physical solution, but also a regulatory and operational one, because it's no good having a fantastic new solution that physically works if we haven't got the crew to look after it and we don't have the infrastructure to support that, and if the regulators aren't going to sign off on it. So we had a nice discussion on that. I'll post that on my personal LinkedIn page if anyone is interested in some of the highlights from that. Final kind of takeaway with Peter Lursen's keynote interview was a very pointed question where we talked about the perception of the industry, and he gave some very open remarks that we are all in a position where we're going to be under more and more scrutiny. Under some of the previous panels, someone had mentioned the way that aviation has been previously a victim of this, and that we are next in the firing line, and we do need to all work to improve our mainstream media kind of dialogue and the message that they're putting out, that we're not going to be the bad guys here. Interestingly, Paris from Ocean Co gave us a story about a client of theirs where actually the daughter of the owner had been very interested not only in the environmental credentials of the vessel that was being designed and built, but wanted to understand the shipyard's perspective on this, and what was the shipyard doing to make themselves greener, even in the production of the vessel. So I think this is something that we're going to be under more and more scrutiny of, and I think the industry needs to be aware of. And it's not just can we produce an efficient and sustainable vessel, but are we sustainable in the way that we build that vessel in the first place? Any comments, drop them below, get in touch, and look forward to the conversation.